Hi guys, today I'll be showing you how to make chile rellenos. The first ingredient we will be using would be chile pasillas, and this is how they look. So after you rinse them, we can go ahead and move on to the burning process. You have to burn them on each side. I'm showing you here how I burn them, and they should look at something like this. After burning them, I place them into a plastic bag. It just helps the peeling process. Next, I will be showing you how I peel them. I also like to remove the stem. It makes it easier when you're eating it. So first thing I do, I like to chop it near the end of the chili just so we can keep most of the chili. And then you have to remove the seeds so you won't, swallow the seeds. Just be really careful as the chilies are really hot and then they tend to sometimes break on me, and if that happens you can use a toothpick to put it back together. So you see how I got most of the seeds. I will go ahead and rinse it after I'm done peeling, just to remove all the seeds. I like to use a glove because sometimes the chilies are spicy, and it'll just prevent your hands from burning. Okay, so now I'm peeling it. You just have to remove all the black stuff. After removing the burnt parts, this is somewhat how your chile should look. Now let's rinse it. After rinsing your chile, this is how it should look. This one ended up splitting, but we can still use it. We will then continue to cut, devein, and rinse. You see how it comes out way easy, and this one didn't end up splitting. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. And with the water, it'll be easier for the burnt parts to come off completely. So you can leave that as is. Now we can go on to the next. I'm making about 15 chilies. It's a long process, remember, but at the end it'll be all worth it. These would be our ingredients. We'll be needing some onion, some cilantro, a couple of tomatoes. If you want your broth to be a little spicier, you can use some chile serranos. We'll be needing some salt, or you can use chicken bouillon. For flavoring, whatever is your preference, we'll need some cumin powder and some oregano. So next we're going to be chopping up the tomatoes to blend them. Place them in the blender here. And I don't usually measure. It's all measured in my head. Here I used about 5 tomatoes. It all depends how you like your broth, either thick or watery. We tend to eat our chile served as a caldo type of a stew, served with beans as well, so it all depends on you. So we'll be cutting the onion. You don't need to put the whole onion. We're gonna use about half. About this much. About this much, sorry. And for cilantro, you don't need that much either. You can probably use half of it. It's about this much. And then I'm not going to be using the chile serranos. That was just you know, suggestion. I sometimes do use them, but since I kind of felt that some chile pasillas that I did pick out are spicy after I burnt them, because you could just smell them after they burnt. So I have a couple of those, so I won't be using these. Now we're going to be adding our spices. We're going to be adding the oregano. I don't measure, but you know, you can just see about how much I put there. This is a strong spice, so just be careful with it. Next we'll be adding our cumin. We'll be adding about, let's see, we can do another half a tablespoon. This spice is pretty strong as well, so just be careful. We'll be adding about that much. Next we'll be adding our chicken bouillon. This all depends on your liking, so I'm gonna start off with about 2 tablespoons. I'll be adding some water, which I already started. I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up to cover the ingredients. There you have it. Now let's get to blending. Sauce ready. Now let's place the colander, let's drain it. The remains, you can put them back in a blender and add a little bit of more spices and then reblend it, so the tomato and all the other ingredients won't go to waste, and you can make more broth out of it. Here you see the remaining ingredients. So now we're gonna add about 1 more tablespoon of chicken bouillon. We'll be adding a little bit more of oregano. We'll be adding a little bit more of cumin. We'll be adding a little bit more of water as well. We need some more. About that much. So there you have it. You have made more sauce. That's about 3 cups more. So now you just repeat the process and drain it into the pot. So this is when you know it's ready, when it starts to simmer. Just leave it about a couple more minutes and you should be done. So next we'll be chopping up the cheese. We like to use this brand, Queso Fresco Cacique. You can stuff them with whatever you want. My dad, he's from Guatemala, he usually stuffs them with carne molida, which is ground beef, or you can use anything else you want. Any other queso fresco would work. We just like to use this bread, so let's get to chopping. I already have one slice unopened, one packet, sorry. I'll be chopping this one up first. So I like to go in the middle, cut it in half. That way it'll open up faster. And just chop it again in the middle. And again. Usually I cut it about 3 times in the middle, if that's correct. It'll crumble a little bit, so just be careful, and I think it's because of the water that's here. So just chop it up. I almost cut myself, which I didn't. So there you have it. Now you continue on with the process depending on how much cheese you want to use in your chiles. I like to put a lot, so I'll probably be using another packet. So next we'll be stuffing our chile rellenos. I'm gonna start off with the flour. I'm using this type of flour. I like it best. I'm using a drainer to take off the little, the little thicker pieces. This will help it become powder. You see? You can toss these away. Add a little bit more. Get it evenly distributed. So now we'll go ahead and grab a chile. They're kind of wet still. All you have to do is just pat it dry a little bit. And you open this up. And then you can start stuffing. Usually start off with 1 piece of cheese. You can add more if you like. I'm gonna leave it as this for now, and then at the end I'll go ahead and add more. And the cheese is pretty thick, so you can decide if you want to add more cheese. And then, you know, just repeat the process. They should end up looking like this. So now we're going to separate the egg yolk from the egg white. This is how my chilies look stuffed. I ended up putting about 2.5 pieces of cheese in each one. We like them really cheesy. So this is gonna be where the egg whites will be. And I'll go ahead and put the egg to blend it and whip it up. My eggs have been outside in the temperature weather for about 30 minutes to an hour. It's just better for them to get fluffier quicker when you're whisking them. So I'll show you how I will separate the egg white and the egg yolk. So you crack it. I washed my hands, don't worry. So I'll go ahead and place it in my hands, and then I'll let the, you know, the egg white go run down my fingers, and then I'll go ahead and throw it into the bowl that I showed you earlier. So you just do this until you're done. I like to use half the amount of eggs from chiles that I'm making. So I did about 7 eggs and I'm doing 15 chiles. Here you have it. You do the same thing. You can get a lot of out of, you know, a couple of eggs. So I can probably even use about 4 to 5 eggs, but you know, it's better if you make a little more. That way you don't have to go back and whisk them up again and again. We'll be using the egg yolk, so do not toss that. This is the 4th egg. Fifth egg now. Before you start whisking your eggs, I'm setting up my pan. It's about medium heat. I like to use this oil for my food. You can find it at Costco. And I'll be adding about, let's see, we're frying the chili, so you'll probably need a lot of oil. So I think that around that much should be fine. Now let's get to whisking. So after we are done whisking up our egg whites, you can see here it should be a fluffy consistency. Now it's time to add our egg yolks. We would have to add them one by one. It's still a fluffy consistency. Now let's get ready to fry them. So now the first step you have to do is roll it into the flour so the egg can stick. I've tried it without the flour before and it works the same, but I think it kind of sticks more if you use, the flour. And then this is how it should look. Dip the chile into the egg. I usually like to cover the top part first. So we'll go ahead, just kind of get all these sides. And then the oil. And I just cover it, the leftover to cover the egg. I went ahead and did 2 more. So now with the spoon, you slowly throw the oil on top of the chile. That way it can be golden on this side too before flipping it. To be flipped over. Let's the other one now. Is nice and golden brown, they're ready to be taken out. Place them on a paper towel like I did here so the oil can drain it. So this is the final result. This is with the broth and these are the chile rellenos dry. I do make them for sale, so they're already packed up in their container, as you can see. You can serve it if you do the broth caldo version. You can add beans, which that's how we will be eating them. Just add the beans, put the chile on top of the beans and then pour the broth on top, and then you're ready to eat with some tortillas, or you can just eat them like that. There you have them. I hope you enjoy them, and please share this recipe. Let me know in the comments below if you liked the recipe, and then make sure to tag me on Instagram. I just started making a page on Instagram. Let me know if you end up trying them. Show me how they came out. Thank you.